much have you been able to claim back from, let's say, Google? The hardest thing we had in our company was that we found some fraud, and of course we tried to prove it to Google. This is why we should be getting $50,000 back this month. And they said, no, we'll think about that. So how successful are you getting that back?
We don't deal directly with Google in that fashion as far as getting the fraud back from Google. There are a lot of companies out there that will do that for you. They'll work with you to get you the right information you need and are successful helping customers get back money from a Google or Yahoo. So it's not something that we focus on. What we focus on is our network, which we focus more on the second and third tier networks. We do about 10 billion searches a month. And what we're able to do with our system is eliminate the click fraud before it hits your customer's budget. So before you actually spend the money, we're actually catching the fraud prior. We also have some aftermarket filters that we use with our back-end system, so that if some fraud hits and we happen to miss it in the front, we're able to catch it in the back end and just credit you back. So on our system, we'll show you how many clicks we actually sent to you, assuming that they were good, and then eliminate those, and we'll see what you actually paid for.
Yeah, based on your data, what is the typical click fraud rate?
Click fraud rates are going to vary depends on the engine that you're looking for. If you're looking at the tier ones, and we'll say Google, Yahoo, MSN, there's some numbers that are quoted out there. Our system's not tracking their networks because we're dealing with our own network. Obviously, Google, Yahoo, and MSN are not publishers of mine, so I can't tell you what our system shows. But I can definitely tell you that in the second tier markets, when you're out there playing, we bring in about 10 billion searches a month, and we block about 45% of that before it goes to the customer. So it is pretty extensive.
How do you determine the difference between a low converting campaign and click fraud? And through your service, do you have a justification method of the ROI of the cost of your service versus the money that you're wasting on click fraud?
As far as what we spend on eliminating click fraud, or
like how do you tell the difference between what's doing a poor job of converting and what's really click fraud? And then how do you justify the ROI of your service versus the click fraud that would be there?
What we've done is we're looking at the click fraud. Basically, when we bring on a new campaign, we run the campaign, we watch what's happening on that campaign, and we're watching it, breaking it down by certain sources. If we see certain sources, we'll see certain sources perform one level, and other sources perform is like a zero performance. Obviously, if it's zero performance, you want to get rid of it, so we eliminate it. If there's something that's performing close to other ones, we kind of look at that, and then we look for feedback from the customer to find out, is this in the ballpark where you need to be? A lot of customers share with us, look, we're looking to be at $10 per conversion or $20 per conversion. That's the number we need to hit. So we try to help them hit that number. And then if we find stuff that, many times we'll be able to get them a lot lower than their conversion numbers because we're able to see what's working, what's not working for them because they're sharing data with us. Looking at a lot of different things, there's other things that we can be looking at to see if, how the click fraud is going to be affecting and answering that. But at the end of the day, it seems to be just watching it, talking to the customer, knowing what the customer's looking to get, and making sure that there are times where we get a campaign where for one reason or another it's just not strong. We know that there's one or two particular industries on our network that just aren't strong. We have traffic there, we have customers that do successful there, but it takes a lot longer to get them to work just because it's just, our niche is not there. So when a customer comes to us with those types of campaigns, we let them know up front. I'll take somebody's money just to take their money. I want to make sure they're going to be a long customer because it takes a lot of time for us to work with a customer to get them to a successful point. I don't want to take the money if I know it's not going to work for them.
Right.
Hello. I wonder the merger between this country and this work. If you get response back from Google and they have this whole bunch of reasons why they said what you thought was fraud, when you said no, it's not really fraud, it's kind of a gray area. It would be great if somebody could compile some of those statements at, just so we can read through them and say, see what they're saying, their opinion is not the known vote. And then the other side of the coin, the other guy's arguments, of course, would be, of course it is. And you can read through, give people's opinion in the gray area.
I know there's somebody that out there to help you with that. Again, we don't deal with the tier ones in that direction. We do offer a managed service for clients like that are looking for that. And we base all of our analysis and all of our optimization strictly on conversion. So yeah, keywords that are working for them, we're going to spend more money there. If they're not working because of fraud or anything else, we just remove those from the network. We've had very little issues with fraud on that side. The way we do it is we don't start high with low on our bids. We work our bids up to make sure that we're not, because typically if you're a fraudster, you're going to be targeting the top tier terms, and you'll be targeting positions 1, 2, and 3 for the most part. I mean, smarter ones will target other areas, but for the most part, they're really targeting the top, the higher paid money, because if you're going to generate a click, you know as much as you can for that click. So what we try to do is when we build our campaigns, because our system, in order for our traffic advisor system to be tied into a network to filter fraud, we actually have to have a special relationship with that source of traffic. Now, Google, Yahoo, and MSN are not going to give us that. So what we can do is we start low on our bids and work them up. We start to see things start to pull back and the ROI starts going in the wrong direction. We go back down, we kind of found a sweet spot. That's how we handle it, but like I said, if you're spending a lot of money on Google, Yahoo, and MSN, and you're having some problems, there are some companies out there that do a fantastic job of helping you litigate and find exactly what's fraud, and then working with you to help you get those credits. There's a lot of different things that you can look at it. Just for lack of a better term, I'll say tier 1 are names that you typically know, like Google, Yahoo, MSN, the big 3. Everything else is probably tier 2. It's just trying to separate them out so you understand the differences between the engines. A lot of you probably haven't heard of eZanga before. We've been around for 5 years, we're generating a lot of traffic, but we're not publicly, a well-known name publicly. That's a couple of things that we're working on. So still in that tier 2 market. Traffic, we're basically aggregating as many of the second tier, third tier engines as we can. We're trying to buy traffic from all the networks that are out there, both small sites, large sites. Who's ever got traffic and willing to take our XML feed for our customer base, we're going to buy traffic from them. And what happens is when the traffic comes in, we find anything that we don't like, what's left over, we sell to the clients. What we've been finding is that the bigger customers that we have, the bigger publishers that we have, tend to do a fairly good job of eliminating click fraud to an extent. Then the smaller the companies are, they don't have the resources or the knowledge to eliminate that click fraud.
Starting in 5 minutes, Sure Hits, making insurance ads work for you. Your attendance at this SMX Theater presentation will allow you a chance to win an iPod. Sure Hits.